everyone, it's Yunitza Munoz, and this is Green Talk by Green Care Solutions on KCAA, NBC Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Roku TV, and on all podcast platforms. Today we have recording artist Mr. Capone. But before we start, I have some quick details to go over, and you guys can obviously see them on the screen right now. So Chantel?
I am Chantel Jackson, and here at Green Talk, it's a pop culture and educational cannabis show. We are not doctors, but Green Care Solutions has doctors for you. Call GCS for any of your Green Care Solutions needs at 951-609-4071. We are a 13-time award-winning company featured in Forbes, Yahoo Finance, and more. Go to greencaresolutions.com or greentalknews.com for more information.
Yes. So now let's start the show. So Mr. Capone, thank you so much for being on our show at the moment.
Hey, much love and respect.
Thank you. And I noticed you have hookah with you. I'm going to be sending you some of the Green Care Solutions Canna hookah. I have it in hemp, CBD, and THC. We'll be sending that your way.
Nice.
Yeah, and what's cool too with the hemp and the CBD and like socially, if people, because I know the THC is good for your house, but let's say you're at like a hookah lounge, they sell this at Hollywood Hookah and other locations in LA, and it's great socially because if you don't want the tobacco, because this has zero tobacco in it.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Hollywood Hookah. I know them guys, so yeah.
Nice.
Gotta go over there and tell them, hey, yeah, I need that.
Yes. So let's talk about your amazing music. I mean, you've been doing really well. When all of our listeners, if you go to YouTube and you look up his music, it has about 1 to 3 million views on all of your music videos. You've had hits like I Like It with Nate Dogg. You've worked with SnoopDog. You have a few amazing songs, for instance, like Love Jam, Only Girl. And Chantel and I were talking about how like romantic your music is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of music for the ladies. So, I mean, I don't know, they like me doing those songs, so I just keep doing them, I guess, you know? Never gets old. Love never gets old, you know?
Yes.
I was telling Yunitza that your look, I know to me, it doesn't go with your sound or your music.
Because you have a beautiful romantic voice.
Right. You would think like you're kind of like hardcore or like going to come at us with some, you know, but it's like, nah, I love the ladies, you know, type of feel. So
it's that thug love stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. And let us know what made you start music, because everyone that knows you knows that you've been doing this for a long time. You have so many hits out there. But why? How did this develop into such like your romantic music? I knew like you've been working with so many big artists like SnoopDogg, Nate Dogg in the past. So what evolved to this?
Well, from a love side of point of view, I grew up listening to a lot of old school and oldies. So by listening to a lot of old school and oldies, if you know a lot of the romantic songs, love songs. So I guess that mentally made me do music also with the love factor in it. And obviously I do all kinds of music. I've done songs with Snoop Dogg. Song was called Light My Fire. It's about, you know, kind of like smoking, light my fire, but also in a ladies sense way too. And I mean, just I grew up in a neighborhood in Los Angeles, and that's our influence, our culture, and from the streets, from the love music, oldies to the old school. And me growing up, guys like Snoop Dogg were kind of my like role models too. So eventually you put a little bit of that mixed with a little bit of Snoop Dogg vibe, a little bit of rap. Here comes Mr. Capone's born, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And also, I love your name, Mr. Capone. I know everyone has a story. I always ask everyone their story. Like with Black China, she's been on our show. Asked her why'd you choose the name Black China? Mm-hmm. We've with Burner, I've asked Burner why the name Burner. So why the name Mr. Capone?
Well, they nicknamed me. I mean, it goes to the street stuff. So as a kid, growing up in the neighborhood in a barrio, obviously Southern California is like barrios back in the days when I was a kid. They just happened to call me Capone, you know? So I got that name. If you know what Capone really is, it's the original gangster. So I got the name Capone because they looked at me as a young Capone, like this guy's making moves. He's young, but he's smart. He's not reckless. So they gave me that name Capone, and it just stood as my name from the streets. So everybody's like, yo, Capone, Capone. And when I became a rapper eventually into the music, because I always did music, but it never was professionally. It was just for the homies in the hood and the backyard parties. But when I became an artist, I had no other choice but to stick to my name, because I would say I was already famous to being Capone. So I was like, why not put Mr. Capone? So that was very few for our communities that actually seen success from the B side, you know what I'm saying? Coming from the streets, where I would say 80% end up failing, you know what I'm saying? Either going to jail, someone could be, some end up being drug addicts, some end up, rest in peace, like just a lot of bad negativity come from the streets. And for me to come out of the streets and do what I do tells the world that, you know what, there is hope. And in our kind of culture where we come from, there's very minimum stars, there's minimum role models to look up to. So by me being me, I see a lot of people that are like me that are now like, you know what, he did it. And I tell you, don't kid you not, that since I did it now in 2020, I see so many guys that look like me that are inspiring to be rappers or inspiring to be somewhat in that lane of hip hop. And there's more of me's now, like there's a lot now, still not a lot that succeeded, but at the whole goal is trying and to be successful than I did probably as a kid or going to school or anything else, because as you learn, you get money, you learn different things, you see a bigger world and a bigger picture that you never knew before of, because you're trapped in this certain bubble. And then when you get out the bubble, you learn more. And, so that's the way for me that I got my education, by being successful. And as you go, you get bigger and learn more, better things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, no, it's 100%. Mm-hmm.
Going back to your music or your songs, what would you say is like your favorite song, or was your favorite to make, or the most fun?
Favorite song, it's hard to say because I've done so many songs.
Mm-hmm. Your
But
most memorable?
I guess like some of the songs that are not the super popular ones, that are a little bit very street related, those are my personal favorite ones. But it's so like minimum in the bubble kind of vibe, mm-hmm. that not everyone would relate to that. But to me, they're personally the most favorite one for me, because I know the struggle I've been through. I know the streets that I went through, and the people who would actually listen to this kind of music most likely are not on the streets no more, whatever. So those are my favorite ones, but obviously they're not too famous, but to me, those are the famous ones, And there's a lot of little ones that I can't even say, because I always throw them out there, but it's just, those are my favorite ones, the unpopular ones.
Mm-hmm. And
they're popular, but at a certain level,
Yeah. And when you write your music, like, what is the process like? Do you have to like lock yourself in your home for a week? Because I know a lot of musicians do that. They're like, okay, I'm not going to do interviews, not going to do anything. I'm going to lock myself in my studio, my home, and really focus on my craft. Or maybe their best song was something of an experience they had over the weekend. It's just like it's like you said, you just don't know what's going to be that one song that hits the record charts. And then,
do you mm-hmm. need that atmosphere, like
for writing? Like, what do you need to like write your music?
Yeah, so it's different for me. Like, I did a song, "You Should Be a Model," and with that song, I was at a hotel suite by myself, and I don't know, it was just the vibe around me that like that made me write it. Then another song I wrote that was pretty big, "I Did You Wrong." I wrote that in an airplane. There's nobody to bug me. I'm on a flight, like a 12-hour flight to Europe,
in your zone.
And I have just nothing but time and headphones, and I just started writing. I got nothing to do, and that became a good song. But generally, I just go to the studio, the beat plays, and I just go. It's like the green light. Just you drive, just like how you drive a car. You just know what to do. You hit the gas, and you just go full till you get to the destination and get it done.
Growing up, can you tell us a few artists that inspired you to become a rapper or an artist
Oh, okay.
yourself?
I would say like Snoop Dogg, NWA, Easy E's, like that whole Ice Cube, like all the West Coast, what the movie, what you seen, might have seen, that gangster rap was kind of the inspiration. When I seen them doing it, I was like, first I didn't do it because I wanted to be like them. I listened to it because I related to their music. And as time went on, I thought about it. Why don't I tell my side of the story? Because it's the same, but it's in a different part of town. Or you could say like a barrio. It's a little different, but it's the same. Mm-hmm. And then I said, let me throw my twist to it. And that's when started rapping, say so, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense too, because actually it's kind of cool because you liked Snoop Dogg so much, you ended up doing a collab with him. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I love that how your dreams kind of came true with that.
Yeah,
yeah, that was crazy. You know, I mean, once I did it with Snoop, like Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, these are the guys that I looked up to as kids. You know, little kid riding the bike and hearing Snoop Dogg, and I was like, you know, that was my lane. And now, years later, I ended up doing songs with him, doing shows with him, hanging out with him a couple times, you know, like, so it just became natural, you know?
So you're also in the cannabis space, and you wrote a song that's called Light My Fire. What was that like?
It was a song, you know, we talked about a girl, but we also put it in the pretext of how I love Mary Jane, but then I also love a girl. But in the whole cannabis stuff, like, which I'm doing now, I'm actually in the cannabis game now. I'm starting to get into, and I got my first situation with Dr. Green Thumb's store. Be Real. I've been talking to Be Real and all his people, the owners of Dr. Green Thumb, and we're working on my own thing, which is going to be out before the end of the year. And just that music, also in the business side of the cannabis now that I'm going into. It just made sense because it's the same crowd that smokes cannabis, that listens to hip hop music, cannabis. It's all together in a way, but now I'm like more into it. And Light My Fire was something that was before, I think it was before even marijuana was legal, you know? So it was more of like undergroundish kind of vibe, even though it was played on radios and all that, but it wasn't that mainstream now. So that song was ahead of its time kind of too, which a lot of other songs were too. But now I'm into that field, and it just makes sense now at the same time because it's still relevant as back then, you know?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I like that song too, because it's funny because Be Real, I also produce at Be Real TV. Chantel's been on Dr. Green Thumb. Yes, you've been on Dr. Green Thumb. So I love how all you guys are like, either you guys manifested it into the universe or what happened, but now it's legal and you guys were ahead of your time. And definitely all the music people listen to is still that music. Like, people enjoy listening to that stuff because it just brings them back the memories of, like, I don't know, when they were teenagers or when they were in college, and like, oh, I remember listening to that song and these good times, the good old times. And I think it's so cool that you're now going to be doing something at Dr. Green Thumb dispensaries. And we're really big about the whole like proper legalization of cannabis because you're actually consuming good products. I know Dr. Green Thumb Dispensary and Green Care Solutions has like clean and good products. So it's really good that you're also going to be introduced to that scene.
I heard about you guys and I'm like, as soon as this comes out, I already told them, you know, because I just barely heard you guys about the stuff. So I was like, I need to get it in their spot, you know, whatever, you know, delivery, whatever you guys doing. It's all legal cannabis, so it'd be an honor. So all the fans or people will know you guys are there for my stuff too, you know?
Yes, yes. And you also have swag, right? Where can people buy your swag?
Buy my swag?
Like T-shirts, you know, like T-shirts when people, I know it's crazy because there's no concerts right now, but I know you have a website as well where people can buy T-shirts and stuff to support you.
Yeah, I got a website, highpowermusic.com, that has a lot of our merchandise out there, from clothing to CDs to stuff like that. And, you know, like, we stay busy all the time dropping music, so we just keep going with the flow, and our fans, they know where to go to find it. And if they don't, I mean, it's www.highpowermusic.com, and there's the high power clothing and stuff like that. We definitely need to advance it now because, 2000 right now since the COVID and everything, and we've seen a lot of shopping on our websites increased from like clothing to just CDs in general, old CDs that we used to have. So definitely our clothing line is something I need to re-hype and reinvent also as I'm moving with the cannabis stuff that I've got coming too.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, are there any future endeavors, more projects that you have going on, new music? You said you want to revamp your clothing, and you told us you're getting into the CBD space. Anything else you would like the viewers to know?
Yeah, well, I'm doing a lot of international collabos right now. I just did one in Poland not too long ago. It's already like in 1 month. I think it should be about 1 million views by now. I got that going on. I got a full project in the UK that I got with some artists in the UK. The only problem is we're supposed to shoot videos, and I'm supposed to go to UK and he's supposed to come to LA, but UK can't come to LA. And I'm scared to go there because I don't know if I can get back. So we just been holding off till it opens. So that's something in the works. Also working on a cannabis type album. And I talked to Be Real about doing a song. He's ready. I just haven't got to that point of getting all these songs done. But I'm constantly working music.
Well, thank you so very much for your time on being on Green Talk by Green Care Solutions. Everybody that's tuning in, if you're watching the video of this, we have his information at the bottom of the screen. And if you're listening on any of the podcast apps, we have it in the bio as well. And again, Mr. Capone, it was an honor. We also have his Instagram here as well, guys. Check him out if you're not already following. I'm sure they already are. And any last words you would like our listeners to know?
No, just I know you guys are cannabis/CBD kind of thing. So just to let them know that I got my stuff, Local OG, coming out. And I'm also working with some new company, Tres Leches, that's going to be coming out. So if you guys smoke, you guys already know the new thing we got coming. So you guys are actually the first people I announced it with, because I was waiting till next week till we start having everything ready. But by the time it's already here. So you guys are the first one. You guys heard it first, and just
now they have
social media, hit me up. I'm quick to show love back to the fans,
Thank you. Oh, that's exciting. And also, we're going to be sending you the Canna hookahs. We have various flavors. So I'll ask your PR, Barbara, on what flavors you prefer. We also have tinctures as well. Yes, I love that you love the hookah.
That's right. Hey. It's calms me down. Much love.
Thank you. And it's zero tobacco for all the viewers and listeners, so it's pretty cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Capone. Everyone, I'm Yunitza Munoz.
And I'm Chantel Jackson.
Thank you, guys. Till next time. Adios.